What's going on, Archivists? It's your boy Varni, and today we are back. We spent some more money on Grand Archive, and so today I'm just going to be going over the cards that I got on today's card cache. So let's hop into it, starting off with our ingredient pouch. This is our nice little foil that we got. It is stamped with Alchemical Revolution. I believe these are the cards that you get when you play on like set release, kind of basically like the pre-release for Digimon, if that's where you come from. So the card, as you can see, is foiled. Ingredient pouch for pouch. The ingredient pouch for Arisana is a Regalia, has the class bonus for Cleric. You pay 1 reserve, you rest it, and you gather. So you summon an herb at random. That's basically all it does, and it costs 1, so, or, oh yeah, it costs 1. That's all it does. We got a Prima Materia, which is a unique item, a Cleric artifact, has the Arisana bonus for Brew. Brew means that, so this has 4 herbs with different names. You can sacrifice 4 herbs with different names to pay the alternative cost, so you don't have to pay the 4 reserve. You can sacrifice those herbs to then play this card. You would rest a draw card in your memory. If it was brewed, the next time an Astra element source you control would deal damage to 1 or more units, you deal that much damage plus 3, which is really good for those cosmic bolts. So we've got ourselves a nice foiled Prima Materia. This is so beautiful. It has a very, very nice shine. These are cards I pulled. Those are not part of what I bought. We got ourselves some astrocytes. I actually didn't realize that Astra Seals were part of Supporter Pack 3. So I was able to go dig into all the Supporter Pack 3 that I opened and pull out some Astra Seals, but we got ourselves astrocytes. You know, every advanced element has their sight cards. Astrocyte has Star Calling, which means as I'm looking at this card while glimpsing, I can pay that cost being 0 and activate it while glimpsing, which is basically I just get to glimpse again and then draw a card. I got Cosmic Astroscope, which is a Regalia class bonus. If opponent would glimpse, I may have them glimpse 3 instead, which is great. For something like Diana, if they would glimpse, let's say something like 8, I can be like, yeah, no, you can just glimpse 3 instead, buddy. And then for myself, I can rest this, glimpse 3. I have a Necklace of Foresight. It costs 1 less to materialize, so it costs 0, and then I banish it to glimpse 4. I have my Chamber of Reflections, which comes in hindered, and then I get to sack it to basically play any domain that I want. I got a Yuri Gossamer Jade. This is for Daochan. This is a unique Fantasia. Whenever I empower an amount, if that amount is greater than the amount of root counters on Yuri, I put a root counter. And then players can't declare attacks with non-Terra element units unless they pay X for each attack declaration, where X is the amount of root counters on Yuri. We got our Comet Fall, which is such a beautiful Supporter Pack 2 card. Comet Fall has Star Calling, which means as I'm glimpsing, I can pay 2 to activate it. And I believe Star Calling is I put all the rest of the cards to the bottom of my deck, and then I just get to activate this card for the cost of 2. I deal 3 damage to all non-Astra element units, but the class bonus is that I deal 4 damage to those units instead. So this comboed with the Prima Materia means that instead of dealing 4, I'm dealing 7. Is really good. We have our Astra Seals. This, I didn't pull this, but I'll just talk about it. I pulled these out of my Supporter Pack 3. Is basically our in-archetype negates. For Arisana, I negate target card activation. This costs 3 less to activate if it targets an activation of a card with the same name as a card in any banishment, which means if I already negated a card, I get to negate it again for free. Or let's say that card was banished for a materialization cost. Cool, I get to negate it for free. Astra Seal is really cool. I traded in my Regal Inquisitions when I was in Boston to pick up my Diana, so I just picked up my Regal Inquisitions again. That's basically all it is. Regal Inquisition is busted, and you should have 4 copies. I knew I was going to end up picking it up again. I just decided I would trade it in then for value and then pick it up again later. That's basically all Regal is. Regal, for those of you who don't know, is, like I said, busted. It's slow speed, but it is a spell that lets you basically look at your opponent's hand and memory and then pluck the cards that you don't like out of it and then replace those cards with cards that you know. It's the ultimate hand and memory knowledge card. It's cracked, and you should most certainly own 4 copies of it if you are playing an advanced element deck. Our next set of cards here, I got a Sigil of Budding Embers is a Regalia, a Cleric, Bauble enters hindered, and then I remove X Glimmer counters from my champion. Obviously, that's a Dao Chan bonus. And then I banish it. As a spell, I deal X damage to target champion. I have a Harvest Herbs, which is Gather, and then class bonus for Cleric, Floating Memory, which is pretty nice. I have the level 1, 2, and 3 for Arisana, which is basically Arisana level 1, Herbalist Prodigy, on enter gather twice, Master Alchemist is on enter gather twice again, and then inherited effect. At the beginning of your end phase, you may sacrifice 2 herbs with the same name if you do draw a card, which is very nice. And Arisana level 3, Astral Zenith. Once per turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay a card's star calling cost, which, you know, is very nice with the likes of Comet Fall. So cool, you glimpse, you find something like the Comet Fall, you already have the, what's it called? The Prima Materia on the field. Now you basically just get to do a free 7 damage to all units. is really cool. And then Astrocytes. Oh, did I? Oh, that's right. That's the rest of my Astrocytes. So yeah. In our next package here, I picked up some Astartes. I love the idea of what Astarte does. It is a unique ally for Astra, has a class bonus for fast activation, and if an object would enter the field under an opponent's control from anywhere except from the effect stack, you banish it face down instead. Now, I have to read up some rulings on this card to really understand the nuances of like how this plays into the effect stack, because I know that this has some interactions with like crux element cards. So I'm definitely going to be doing some reading. If you guys know, please do let me know in the comments down below. I picked up 4 of these because I'm like, okay, it looks really cool. I mean, look at her, right? She looks awesome. First of all, I do want to pick up some of these foil because I do like the art on this a lot, but I'm very interested to play this card and really understand how it works. We picked up Hordy Counters. This card is really cool. As an additional cost to activate this card, you sacrifice Y herbs. This card cost X cost. If you were in school and you're like, why do I need to know what X plus Y equals? Well, this is the card that says you need to know your algebra. You pay X cost. As an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice Y herbs. Negate target card activation unless its controller pays X plus Y. Banish the card that had its activation negated this way. When an activation is negated this way, glimpse 3. And this is fast activation. So this plays really nicely into Arisana, where you put all of those nice cosmic bolts into your deck. So cool. Let's say you pay 3, sacrifice 2 herbs. Your opponent now has to pay 5. They can't pay 5. You glimpse 3. Oh, you have found a cosmic bolt. Cool. Oh, you're on Arisana 3, obviously. Cool. Activate a cosmic bolt for free. Slash and Burn. This is really nice because I was planning on playing Fire Arisana. I still am. Obviously now Ryle is hit and I have to figure out how I'm going to build this deck, but we're still going to try it. It costs 1 less to activate, so it costs 1 for Cleric. Gather and then banish up to 3 fire element cards from your grave. For each card banished this way, you gather, which is pretty cool. Sovereign Sanctuary, busted card. I like this a lot. It's basically a self-replacing, what's it called? It's in my mind. I'm thinking of it. I'm going to put it on the screen here. It's on the screen. Resolute Stand. There we go. It's a free replacing Resolute Stand that does prevents 1 less damage. So it's pretty nice. And it prevents any damage, not just combat damage. More Chamber of Reflections. Another Sieging Buttle. Another Sigil of Budding Embers. I don't know why I bought more than one of these. I'll be totally honest. Searing Rebuke. That's my 1 of 3 that I need. That must be in another package. Zhangzhao, because I didn't have any. So I have my Zhangzhaos. Cards busted, obviously. Good card. On enter, depending on the amount of cards you have in your memory. If you have 0, you draw 2. If you have 1 to 3, you recover 4. If you have 4 to 6, you glimpse 4. And if you have 7 or 4, each opponent draws, or sorry, not draws, discards a card at random from their memory. We have a Lubu, Indomitable Titan. I really like this card. I can understand why people like this card a lot as well. So Lubu is Taunt Vigor, a unique ally for Terra. On attack, if this is Lubu's first attack of the turn, you may pay 2. If you do, you wake up Lubu. Mind you, she is at 4/4, so she's coming in for essentially 8. And then the Diaochan bonus is if your champion would die with exactly 32 damage counters on them, banish them, transform Lubu, and destroy all other objects you control instead. Okay, cool. What does that do, might you ask? Well, you transform her into Lubu, Wrath Incarnate, which is an Exia champion with Vigor. All other champions get -3 level, and all allies get -3 power. On ally kill, deal X unpreventable damage to each other champion, where X is the killed ally's power stat plus its life stat. So, all right, cool. You have killed, let's say, a Ghost of Pendragon, deal 7 damage. I love the idea of this. I can totally understand why people are like really high on this card. The cost doesn't reflect it, obviously, but like I can see why people are like, oh my goodness, like I want to brew with this card. So yeah, I picked up 4 of these immediately when I found out about that. Scepter of Awakening. As long as you control 4 or more Phantasias, you may activate this card from your material deck. You pay 2 and rest it. Target Phantasia you control becomes an ally. In addition to its other types with base power and life equal to its reserve cost until end of turn, put a buff counter on it. It is super cool. I like this a lot. Super excited to brew with both Diaochan and Arisana. These are 2 decks I'm very, very hype on. Picked up some Diaochao's Cinder Binders. This was for Merlin because she is a mage. So this is allies with frenzy counters on them don't obey their controller. So nice to kind of temper some aggro decks. And then the class bonus for Mage and Tamer is that you rest it and choose one. You put a frenzy counter on target ally. And then the other one is that you can empower X, where X is the amount of allies on the field with a frenzy counter on them. So because this is a 0/4, it can make it very tough for your opponent to deal with. Because if they're an ally-based deck, generally speaking, if you are controlling the field enough, hopefully you are not allowing them to swing into this. But, you know, generally they might get to a point where they can deal with this. I would like to, now that Ryle is gone, you know, I can brew a little bit more now that I don't have a reason to play the 16 card package, because honestly, it was a little bit tough to fit cards with Ryle. Now that you don't have to play the 16 card package, it does open up deck building a touch, you know, it does. So we're going to see what we're brewing out here. Picked up some Flame Rune Swordsman promos because I like this art, so I picked them up. Coiled Fatestone, I'll be honest, I wasn't actually going to pick this card up because this was for Guoja. I decided not to build Guoja right now, but I left these in the cart, so I ended up picking them up by mistake. So they're here. I picked up a Coiled Fatestone foil and then 3 regulars. So this is basically an item, Tamer Fatestone. On enter, discard 2 cards at random. For each fire element card discarded this way, draw a card. The Guoja bonus is that you rest it, pay 1 as a spell, deal 1 damage to each champion, put an age counter on the Coiled Fatestone. Then if there are 3 or more age counters on the Coiled Fatestone, remove all of them and transform. When you transform, it goes into a Serpentine Judicator, and your opponents can't recover. This is a 3/3 ally. So this is really cool because that means in archetype for Guoja, you don't need to play things like Fiery Interference, or there's a couple other like fire type cards that say your opponent can't recover. So that's really cool. Like I said, I didn't mean to pick those up because I wasn't going to build Guoja right now, but we did, so it is what it is. I didn't go over what Searing Rebuke did. So, Searing Rebuke, action, Cleric spell. Prevent the next 3 damage that will be dealt to your champion this turn. And then the class bonus is whenever damage is prevented this way, you deal 3 damage to target champion you don't control, which is busted for a class bonus. We have our Spell Shield Astra. This card costs 2 less to activate, so a 2-cost Spell Shield. The next time damage will be dealt to your champion this turn, prevent that damage, and then Glimpse X, where X is the amount of damage prevented this way. I'm gonna have so much fun with Arisana. I can see it now. And then we have got so many copies of Cosmic Bolt, because guess what? We are going to be an Arisana main. I can't wait to play Arisana. 10 copies of Cosmic Bolt. Hopefully that's enough. It has Star Calling for 2 as you're looking at this card while glimpsing. You may activate it by paying its cost. If you do, put all other cards you're looking at the bottom of your deck in any order. So yeah, I got that right. Deal 4 damage to target unit, plus an additional 2 for each card named Cosmic Bolt in your graveyard and banishment. Okay, so that's what it is. So it costs 3 normally and it's slow speed. So the entire idea is that off of the, what is it called? Polaris's Cauldron, I believe it is. You sack it essentially, and you're gonna put some amount of Cosmic Bolts into your deck. So you're gonna start with 4, and then let's say you put like another 4 into your deck. You would have a total of 8 in your deck, and then you're gonna be able to glimpse and see a certain amount of Cosmic Bolts in your deck. And then you can see them while you're glimpsing, and then you're gonna have a certain amount in your banishment and your grave. And then, you know, you're gonna deal like 8, 10, 12 damage off of Cosmic Bolts. So I'm very excited to play Arisana. I was very excited to brew with this deck, and I'm super excited to finally have my cards and build this deck. So yes, finally have all of our cards in. Can't wait to start deck brewing and play something that is not just named Crux Knight Lorraine. If you guys like this video, please do drop a like, drop a comment letting me know what you guys think about Arisana. Arisana mains out there, let me know what you guys think about Fire Arisana. I'm super excited to build a, obviously Fire, because I'm a fire nut. All of my decks that I play are fire-based, because why would they not be, I guess, at this point? And also subscribe so that you guys know when future videos come out. Thank you guys for watching this video, and until I talk to you guys the next time, peace out.